Hello and welcome to this video. I'm Marcus Hayes and I want to start by wishing you all a very happy new year. I want to send a huge thanks out to each and every one of you for your continued support of my channel. The channel is fast approaching 13,000 subscribers and it blows my mind every day that so many of you are interested in what I get up to with my cars. YouTube now dominates the very small part of my life that isn't already dominated by my love for my cars. But the positivity that I receive from you guys on a daily basis through social media and email really does keep me going, and it makes all the hours that I spend editing every video worthwhile. Now, it's fair to say that quite a lot happened in my world with my cars in 2021, which I'll go through briefly in a minute. I'm really glad that I managed to get out and about and meet some of you guys and check out your cars and get them on the channel, and that's definitely something that I want to do way more of in the future. The only thing stopping me is basically time and having a day job. There might be an opportunity later this year where I will be freed up to do more traveling about and getting your cars on the channel, but I'll let you know if and when that happens. But yeah, I really enjoyed going on a little mini tour. Despite what's been going on in the world, I did manage to get out to a few events last year. Quite a few breakfast meets with the West London Classic Ford crew and the South London Retro Power crew. And I also got out to a really cool high-end auction with the West London Classic Ford crew. And we even had a go on the water park, which is next door to the auction, which was loads of fun. I also managed to get to Herbie's Diner for the Horsepower at Herbie's event twice in 2021. And that's definitely something I'm going to be going back to check out this year at some point. The Chelsea Cruise, which is on every month, is always a cool event to attend, especially in the summer, and we made it to that event a couple of times in 2021 as well. At the Ford show at Santa Pod last year, I actually had my own club stand for the first time ever, and that was really cool. That's definitely something that I'll be planning to do again in the future, and I want to send a huge thanks out to all you guys that did very kindly bring your cars onto my stand. It was great to chat to some familiar faces and meet some new people as well. And yeah, I think we had quite a decent range of old school Fords on the stand. By far my favourite event of 2021 was when me and Kat headed over to Northern Ireland for a 2-day event called the Summit Show and Run. I was invited over there by Porrig Murphy, who along with his friends and family are already deep into planning Summit 2022, and I'll definitely be heading over to Northern Ireland for that. The show was amazing, so cool to meet so many people over in Northern Ireland that I've never met before, but some of you of course I had chatted to through the internet. And on the run, on the second day of the Summit event, I was actually lent an ST170 powered Mark II Escort rally car by a guy called AD. And it was so cool taking that thing for a spin in the Northern Ireland countryside with AD's nephew Barry as my co-driver. Also that day, I got a passenger ride with rally legend Frank Kelly in his 2.5 Millington powered Mark II Escort that he likes to call Baby Blue. Although the Summit was a 2-day event, me and Kat actually spent 4 days over in Northern Ireland, and what a place. Beautiful scenery, beautiful people, and plenty of petrol heads. It's fair to say that quite a lot happened with my cars last year. I finally got Esther, my ST170 powered Mark I Escort, on the road for the first time in years. Maude, my Maude Mark II Escort, went through some aesthetic and mechanical changes, and I was able to get my dad's Mark III Escort on the road for the first time in years, and I even picked up a new project a couple of months ago, which I'm really looking forward to trying to get on the road this year. Now, Maude started the year by going for a little bit of a trip in Mexico to drift in the snow, which was loads of fun, and I know loads of you enjoyed watching that video. Then a couple of months after that, I started the process of giving her makeover by grinding away some of the surface rust and touching it up with red oxide. And then eventually I got round to actually repainting the car in her new shade of blue. And then I set about deleting all the chrome on the outside. I painted her wing mirrors and door handles and her wheels black, and her bumpers were actually powder coated black for me by Microblast Services in Windsor. and I really like the blue and black colour scheme. I only really done it so that it would look better on the videos. It wasn't ever supposed to look good, but yeah, I'm really glad that she does look the way she does now. Towards the end of last year, Maude finally got her ST170 lump fitted. The ST170 lump that was supposed to be going in her ended up going into Esther, my Mark 1 Escort, which I'll talk about in a minute. But yeah, the ST lump is now in Maude. It's running, and I'm actually going to be putting that car on the dyno in the next week or so. So you'll have that to look forward to on the channel. Fingers crossed the dyno session goes well. More recently, Maude has got her first pieces of carbon fibre thanks to GARRY ball in the shape of some rear light lens protectors. There'll definitely be some more carbon fibre coming in the future for Maude. She also got her dash top flocked very kindly by TJB Motor Services, which was the sort of start of making her interior look a bit better. And my friend Gary gave me some bucket seats to fit to her that are in a lot better shape than her old ones, and they're a lot more comfortable as well. So massive thanks again to you, Gary. Still loads of bits I want to do in the interior of Maude, but yeah, it's definitely coming together. So on to my favourite car, Esther, my ST170 powered Mark 1 Escort. I started the year by revealing the carbon fibre pieces that I'd bought for her in December 2020. And I know the carbon bits aren't to everyone's taste, but I'm really happy with it, and she'll definitely be getting some more carbon fibre pieces in the future. I also fitted some lightweight alloy bonnet hinges and failed to fit some lightweight alloy boot hinges because they turned out to be for a Mark 2 Escort. Shortly after that, it was time for my good friend Rob to repair the small dent that Esther had in her front panel, which was caused by this idiot when he crashed into his own security post inside the garage. Rob done an awesome job on that paintwork. You literally couldn't tell that there was any damage there before. And then shortly after I got Esther back from Rob, I had a lot of the chrome parts on Esther powder coated black, and they were done for me by a company called Specialised Blasting and Coatings. Massive thanks to you. Shortly after that, I killed Esther's ST170 engine by getting some spark plug debris inside one of the cylinders, and then I was forced to fit the ST170 that was supposed to be going into Maude into Esther. And then once I'd tackled the nervous job of making holes in my fresh carbon fibre bonnet to fit the bonnet pins, it was actually time to send Esther off for her MOT to get her legal on the road, which she passed with flying colours. And then shortly after that, I sent the car to Chris Todd, who put her on the rolling road, and she made 184.8 bhp, which I was really happy about. But Esther will be making a bit more power later on this year, and I'll explain all about that on the channel when the time comes. Once Esther was legal on the road and dynoed, I was able to take her further afield, and I took her down to the horsepower at Herbie's meet, where she won car of the meet and earned me a free breakfast, which was awesome. And around that time, I also took my dad for the first spin in the car as well, which I think I enjoyed more than he did. Then things took a turn for the worst with Esther, because she broke down 2 days in a row, and on that second day, while she was broke down, some numpty crashed into the back of her, and she's basically been off the road ever since, until about a month ago when I sent her to the paint shop so that Gavin Pink and his team can work their magic. And if you haven't been following progress of that repair, do check out Gavin's channel. I'll leave a link to it in the description. She's very close to being ready for me to pick up, and although by the time she gets back she'll probably be hibernating until the spring, I'm really looking forward to seeing her looking fresh again. And I've got some bits to do on her over the winter, which should mean she'll be ready to come out once the springtime comes. On to my dad's Mark 3 Escort, which we was able to get on the road this year. It needed a little bit of welding, which was very kindly done by KEMBER at CLUMPFAB. And then my good friend Rob took care of the paintwork on the panels that had been welded by Chris. And then that car flew through its MOT, and it was legal on the road for the first time in years. Shortly after that, unfortunately, the head gasket failed, and I ended up ruining one of the threads in the head that holds the thermostat housing on. So then I decided to pull the head off, and Chris KEMBER at CLUMPFAB very kindly rebuilt the cylinder head for me and sent it off so that that thread could be repaired and retapped. Once I'd refitted the cylinder head, my friend Inky at Inky's Autos helped me to fit a new cam belt, new water pump and that sort of thing. And yeah, the Mark III's been running sweet ever since. In fact, it's been my daily for the last month or so whilst I wait for Maude to go on the dyno. A couple of months ago, I picked up my new project, which is a 1300 GL Mark II Escort, a very late registered 1981 car that originated in Cyprus. It's not in bad shape, but it has had some prep work by previous owners. I've already found some hidden rust, and I've been going around and getting rid of some of the more minor surface rust and covering it in epoxy primer. But basically, I'm waiting for that car to go to Chris KEMBER at CLUMPFAB for all the welding that it needs. And then I'm hoping to get the paintwork on that car done by my good friend Rob. Probably going to focus on the interior bits first and then build the car up. And I'm really determined to get that car on the road this year. So we'll see how that goes. I've already bought some new panels from Escort Tech for it, and I'm hoping that that car will be going to CLUMPFAB this month. Now, in terms of future plans for all the cars, Esther will definitely be getting some more carbon fibre at some point in the future. I do need to redo her sump gasket, but I'm going to use the same method that I did with Maude, which should hopefully keep the car leak free. And then I want to get her out to some shows and stuff when the weather gets better. And I want to get her back down the drag strip to see if she can beat her previous PB, which is my PB, but that was back when she was running a Pinto engine. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, she should be gaining a few more horsepower at some point this year as well. For Maude, I definitely want to continue tidying up her interior. Not going to go mad, it is just a daily drift car at the end of the day. Possibly, if the new project gets on the road and becomes my daily, then Maude might actually be turned into more of an out-and-out drift car. Might get caged, might get a different engine, I don't know yet. But in the short term, I really want to get her out to drift days. I didn't go to any drift days in 2021. I really want to go back to do a Santa Pod drift day, which was actually where this channel started. They are so much fun, and fingers crossed, now that her sump seems to be sealing better, I will be able to get her out to drift days. If not, then I'm sure I'll be having a little bit of fun sideways in Mexico in her anyway. My dad's Mark III doesn't really need anything, to be honest. It's not a show winner, it's not perfect, but it runs great, it's legal on the road. I could do with a better interior for it. You know, the seats are ripped and stuff. Hopefully one day I'll see one for sale and grab that. But yeah, other than that, just going to try and leave it alone, try not to dive into it and start modifying it too much, and hopefully my dad can get out and enjoy it this year as well. And the new project, as I mentioned, I want to get it on the road by this spring or summer if possible, and it'll probably end up becoming my daily. I am maybe thinking that I might end up selling it once I've put it together, just to buy something else really to work on the channel. But yeah, my current plan is to at least temporarily use it as a daily. A couple of other things that I've been thinking about for the future moving forward. One thing that I've definitely been neglecting over the last few months, just due to lack of time, is sharing your guys' projects on my social media. So what I've decided to do is actually set up a Facebook group where you guys can post your pictures of your projects yourselves. If you don't want to write anything about them, that's fine. If you just want to put the spec, that's fine. Or if you just want to post pictures, that's fine. And don't think that you have to wait until the project's complete to post pictures on the group. You know, if you pick up a project, post it up to show us. If you make a bit of progress on the project, post up some pics to show us the progress. You know, you can post on there as regular as you want, and I think it'd be a great way for all of us to check out everyone else's projects. I'm probably not going to post progress about my cars on there because I've got my Facebook page and my Instagram and stuff to do that. This group is literally going to be for you guys to share your projects on my social media, and I'll obviously be talking about them with you guys in the comments. Obviously, I'll have to monitor things to make sure that the group's not being used for people selling stuff or any classic Ford related stuff. So yeah, I'll have to sort of police it. But yeah, if everyone follows the rules and just uses the group for what it's supposed to be used for, which is literally to share our projects with each other, and I think it'd be really cool. I'm probably gonna upgrade my equipment a little bit. You know, I don't wanna go mad. I'm not a videographer, but I'm thinking about maybe picking up another GoPro. I've got some ideas for mounts on the cars and stuff for when I do eventually get out to drift days. And I think I need to maybe invest in some sort of microphone so that the audio will be better, especially when I'm sitting in cars. But yeah, that'll be something I think about over the next month or so. Just want to try and make the videos as best as I can for you guys to watch. But yeah, other than that, I'm just going to keep doing what I've been doing, keep sharing with you guys my weird life that is pretty much dominated by my love for Rust. And I hope you guys are gonna stick with me through this year and beyond. A lot of you guys regularly ask for me to do shout outs on the videos, and the only reason I refuse is because whenever I pick up the camera, I'll end up forgetting, and I wouldn't like to remember some of you and forget some of you. I don't think that's fair. But whenever I do a Q&A video, I do invite you guys to let me know if you want a shout out. Even if you don't want to ask a question, you know, it's a good opportunity for you guys to get your shout outs. And I'm planning to do a Q&A video this month. Just before I do the Q&A video, I'll be putting posts out on my Facebook, on my Instagram, and on the YouTube community thing for you guys to put your questions in the comments, or just to let me know that you want a shout out. So definitely look out for that. I am thinking about trying to take a little bit of a step back in January and just relax a little bit, but there's so much going on in January that there's still going to be plenty of videos for you guys to watch. Esther, my SD170 powered Mark 1 Escort, is due back from the paint shop. Maude is obviously going on the dyno, and I'm hoping to take the new project to CLUMPFAB. So yeah, still plenty of videos coming up on the channel this month, but I'm going to try and take a little bit of a step back and rest rather than being out at every opportunity in the cold working on cars. So that's all I've got for this video. I want to send another massive thanks out to all of you for your continued support of my channel. If you are new to the channel, do check the links in the description to my social media and my website, and click subscribe to keep up to date with all my future uploads. Other than that, Happy New Year and thanks for watching.